Okay, so the last 2 days we've talked about division as grouping, so as having them in equal groups. So today we're going to look at division as sharing, and it's very similar to grouping. So hopefully this will be pretty easy for you if you did the practice work, which you all did, and you all done pretty well on it. I think everyone did excellent. So hopefully this will be equally as easy. Okay, so when we have equal sharing of quantities, we know, obviously, the total amount that we have, which is 6, okay? And then we divide that by how many people we know. So we know that we have 2 people to share the candies in between. So 2 friends sharing candies, that means that each one gets 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So equal sharing between division can be shown equally or fairly, okay? So it is important to know that when a quantity is shared out, it is done equally. So exactly what we talked about the last couple of days, it needs to be as equal as we can make it, okay? So important vocabulary that you'll have for sharing is sharing equally between, sharing, or the questions will be how many will each get, or how much will each get, okay? Those are things to look out for to know that you should be sharing for division, okay? So here we have 6 candies, and they're shared between 2 friends. So how many will each girl get? So again, we have 6, and we are putting it into 2, so 6 divided by 2. What we can do is we can just put them into 2 groups, or we can just give them each a candy, okay? So she gets a candy, she gets 1, 2, 3 candies, and then she can have 1, 2, and 3 candies. So each person gets 3, okay? So she gets 3 candies, and the other girl gets 3 candies, okay? So when the candies are shared out equally between 2, each girl will get 3 candies. So now we have these 2 guys, okay, and they are hungry, so they want to eat 10 apples. So we have 10 apples, and they are going to be shared between 2 boys. So each one, so let's call him number 1, let's call him number 2. So if we do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then we can count up how many 1s we have and how many 2s we have, and we can see how many apples each kid gets. So for the 1s, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets 5 apples. And how many does 2 get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets 5 apples. So that means that the answer is 10 divided by 2 equals 5. And remember, you can check your work by reminding yourself the basic facts for multiplication. So you could then look at 5 times 2, and hopefully that equals 10. Okay? But you don't have to do the multiplication part of it. That's just me just adding a little challenge for you. Okay? So we have done this. Yes, there we go. So when the apples are shared equally between 2, each boy will get 5 apples, and now they're happy because they have their apples. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 chocolate buttons. Okay, but how many people do we have to share them with? So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, number 4, and number 5. So we have 5 friends, okay? So just think for a minute and try and figure out who will get, or how many each child will get, okay? You try and figure that out. So if we go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that means that number 1 gets 1, 2. He gets 2, okay. Number 2 gets 1, 2. He gets 2. Number 3, I think there's a nice pattern here happening. She gets 1, 2. Okay. and number 4 gets 1, 2, and that means that number 5, 1, 2, she gets 2. So everyone gets 2, which means that the answer is 2. So I've shared out the chocolate buttons between 5 people, and everyone has gotten the equal amount of 2. Okay, so 10 chocolate buttons shared equally between 5 friends. Each person gets 2 buttons, and they're all very happy with their buttons. Okay, so it's pretty easy today. Your job is just going to be to complete the pages 124 and 125 in your math homework and practice book. Okay. Basically, if you have counters at home or things, remember you can draw pictures to check your work. That's fine. Okay. For number 1, you need to write the division sentence. So remember the division sentence. For example, the first one would be 20 divided by 4 equals, and then you need to write the answer. Okay, so you can work that out, but you need to write the division sentence for number 1. For number 1 on this page, you just need to write the answer. All right. And for number 2, it says write a division sentence. So you need to write a division sentence to solve each problem. So again, you would go 20 divided by 4. This is terrible printing. Equals, and you need to put your answer, okay? The bonus question, again, is here for you. It is extra, so you do not have to complete it, but I think you can try it. And as well, number 3, which I forgot to tell you about, is to write an equal sharing problem. So you need to write a problem like what they had above. So for example, if you have write an equation sharing problem for 6 divided by 2, maybe you have 6 pizzas or 6 pieces of pizza shared between 2 people. How many slices does each person get? Something like that, okay? So you need to write the problem, and then you can show how to solve the problem, and there's examples over here if you need help, okay? So remember, this is the division sentence. It has the division sign on it, so right there, okay, and the equals. So I want you guys to really try to remember to write your division sentences. Okay, remember the sentence doesn't mean that there's words. It means it's the way that we write the question in math, okay? So this is it. This is all you have to do today. Once you have that finished, you are finished math. And then you are welcome to go and play some Prodigy. I've put some division questions on it for you so you can do a little bit of extra practice. So yeah, that's it for me today. I will see you next week for a little bit more work on division.